You know that tight feeling in your chest? Or those racing thoughts that just won't let you sleep? Yeah, we've all been there. So today, we're not just going to talk about stress, we're going to build a practical toolkit together to help you reclaim your calm and find your inner strength.
All right, here's our game plan. First, we'll get a handle on what stress actually is. Then, we'll look at what causes it and how it shows up in our lives. From there, we'll get into the good stuff, a whole toolkit of techniques to manage it. And we'll wrap up with a pretty cool formula for a happier life.
You know, this question, it really hits home, doesn't it? It feels like we're all walking around carrying this invisible weight. So let's start by giving that feeling a name. What exactly is stress?
Okay, let's break it down. Because honestly, understanding what you're up against is always the very first step to getting a handle on it. Okay, this is a total game changer. So in the Marathi language, the word for stress, tan, is literally made of two parts. Takad, which means strength, and nasan, which means absence. Just let that sink in for a second. Stress isn't something you have, it's the absence of something. It's a sign that your inner strength, your energy, is just running low. Thinking about stress that way, as a lack of strength, is a really powerful shift in perspective, right? So how do we know when our own strength is running on empty? What are the actual warning signs our bodies and minds are sending us? Well, mentally, it can show up as anxiety, or that endless loop of negative thoughts you just can't seem to shut off. Poor sleep, feeling kind of forgetful, maybe a little irritable. And physically, oh yeah, our bodies feel it too. We're talking high blood pressure, digestive problems, and of course, those classic tension headaches and that super tight feeling in your neck and shoulders. So we know what stress feels like, but where does it actually come from? Let's dig a little deeper and get to the real root of the problem. Here's a wild thought for you. Stress almost never lives in the present moment. I mean, think about it. You're not stressed about this exact second. You're stressed about that thing you said yesterday or that big presentation you have next week. Our minds get stuck in the past with regret, or they race into the future with anxiety. But our keys, it's right here, in the now. And if you trace that habit of living in the past or future even deeper, you find some really ancient wisdom. Yogic philosophy, which goes back thousands of years, points to these 5 core afflictions, or kleshas, as the true source of all our suffering. And look, these are things we all deal with. Not really knowing our true selves, getting tangled up in our ego, clinging to things we like, pushing away things we don't. These are the deep-seated patterns that really fuel our stress. Okay, enough about the problem. Let's get to the solutions. This next part is all about practical, actionable tools you can start using right away to take back your strength and energy. First up, this is such a simple but incredibly powerful trick. When you feel your mind starting to spiral with worry, I want you to just picture a big, red, bold, full stop, period. It's you making a conscious choice to say, nope, we're not doing this right now. It's a reminder that you are in control of your thoughts, not the other way around. Here's another amazing mental shift. You are not your stress. Just try to see yourself as this calm, steady point of light, the real you, and your stress is just a passing storm cloud. When you create that little bit of distance, you start to realize that your problems are temporary, but that inner strength of yours is permanent. Now for a super practical tool, especially for work stress. It's called the Pomodoro technique, and it's brilliant. You just pick a task and go all in, 100% focus for 25 minutes. Then you take a 5-minute break. That's it. You repeat that cycle, and it completely stops you from feeling overwhelmed. And believe it or not, you get way more done. Now, these mental tools are great, but they work so much better when your body is on your side. So let's not forget the basics, right? Just 10-15 minutes of exercise a day, a little quiet time to meditate, good food, solid sleep. These are the absolute building blocks for a stress-resilient life. A massive amount of our stress comes from our relationships with other people. So for our last section, we've got 2 super handy acronyms that are basically formulas for less friction and way stronger connections. I mean, who doesn't want to be happy? Let's spell it out. H is for health. You've got to take care of you first. A is for awareness, being mindful of what's going on. The first P is for positive thinking, and the second is for perseverance and patience, because good relationships take work. And finally, Y is for yearning, that deep desire for real, unconditional connection. And when it comes to talking with people, just remember to watch. W is for your words. Use them carefully.
A is for your actions. Make sure they line up with your words. T is for thinking and time. Be present. C is for care. Show them you actually care. And H is for heart. Always try to come from a place of love.
Remember that definition we started with? That stress is simply the absence of strength? Well, getting that strength back, it doesn't happen with some giant leap. It just starts with one small intentional step. So, the real question is for you, what is one small thing, one single step you can take today to start rebuilding your strength? Don't put it off. What will it be?